One moment. Lost my page.
It's okay.
I do apologize. Okay.
Thank you.
Our item for today is approval of a senior leader subordination agreement that is necessary to close on the financing of Barcroft Apartments located at 1130 South George Mason Drive.
Thank you very much. We are joined today by our manager and a number of staff on the line. So, Mr. Manager, I will turn it over to you for introductions.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. I'm going to ask Sarah Pizzo to walk us through a quick verbal presentation. Ms. Pizzo?
Great, thank you and good afternoon. This is a follow-up item to the Barcroft County Acquisition Fund loan approved by the County Board at its recent December 14th recessed meeting. At that meeting, the County Board approved a $150 million County Acquisition Fund loan to assist an affiliate of Gyre Lynch Real Estate Partners with the acquisition of Barcroft Apartments, a 1,334 unit market affordable garden complex located 1130 South George Mason Drive. As a result of the county's loan, 1,334 units will be committed as affordable for 99 years at 60% of the area median income rent level. The sources of financing anticipated to support the acquisition closing as of last week's County Board meeting included the County Acquisition Fund loan, an Amazon loan, and equity from the borrower and associated investors. The Acquisition Fund loan documents, which were also approved by the County Board, required the borrower to secure a senior loan no later than March 31st, 2022. This loan was anticipated to repay a portion of the equity used to support the acquisition. The borrower, however, was able to secure a senior loan ahead of schedule, shortly after last week's County Board meeting. The replacement of equity with an approximately $112.7 million senior loan will save the project over $1 million in interest monthly. The item before you today is consideration of the subordination agreement with the new senior lender. As part of the senior lender requirements for financing, the subordination agreement is needed between the senior lender and the county board. The senior lender subordination agreement establishes the priority of lien positions of each party's deed of trust and describes their respective rights and obligations with respect to the borrower and their assets, the Barcroft property, in the event of foreclosure. The senior loan will be in first lien position, followed by the Amazon loan in second lien position, and the county's loan in third lien position. One of the provisions in the senior lender subordination agreement confirms that in the event of foreclosure on the senior loan, the 99-year affordability covenants will remain in place. Approval of the county board is needed in order to proceed with finance closing, anticipated to occur by the end of the calendar year. As a result, the county manager recommends the following: approve the senior lender subordination agreement and authorize and direct the county manager to execute it. Appoint, authorize, and direct the trustees for the county board to execute all related documents. And finally, authorize and direct the county manager, with the concurrence of the county attorney, to act as the county board's representative in approving revisions to the loan documents that remove ambiguity or improve the county board's financial security or position. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Pizzo. Do we have any presentations from any other county staff? All right, thank you so much. And I know we're joined by Mr. Lynch here today. Mr. Lynch, did you have any comments you wanted to make, or you're simply available for questions?
Available for questions.
Great, thank you. Nice to see you again. All right, colleagues, I think we have the floor for an opportunity for questions, if there are any. Mr. Carantonis, Mr. DeFerranti, I'll begin with colleagues in the room and then do a round of questions for you both on the teleconference. Ms. Garvey?
Sure. One that I know I think we're all interested in making clear, and this is for our staff, is this really in any way very different from how we handle all of our loans kind of like this? The issue of subordination, I assume this is not terribly different from what we usually do when we have loans, these complex loans for affordable housing.
Correct. That is true. And this was actually anticipated in the loan documents. It was anticipated that our county loan would be subordinate to both the senior loan and the Amazon loan. It's just that this funding came in ahead of schedule.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Dorsey?
I really think that question lays it out, and I'm prepared to make a motion if you think it's time, Madam Chair.
That would be great. Mr. DeFrenti, Mr. Carantonis, any objections? We'll put a motion on the table and then come back to you all for any questions.
No objection, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you very much. In that case, a motion.
I have only one question.
Could-
Are we accepting public comment tonight?
I don't believe we have any speakers this evening, Madam.
We do not.
We do not. Thank you for confirming, Mr. Carantonis.
Great. So I'll then move that the county board approve the terms of the substantially final and attached senior lender subordination agreement for the $150 million county acquisition fund loan to what I will describe as the Barcroft project, and also that we authorize and direct the county manager to execute on behalf of the board all of the necessary agreements, that we also appoint and authorize and direct Christine Sanders and Karen Crane, either of whom may serve as trustees of the county board, to execute the attached subordination agreement and other related documents. And then finally, we authorize and direct the county manager, with the concurrence of the county attorney, to act as the board's representative in approving any revisions to this agreement that are necessary to resolve any ambiguity or other issues, presumably so that this doesn't have to come back to us for a special meeting like this.
Great, that's been moved and seconded. Mr. Dorsey, with your allowance, I'll go to our colleagues for questions and then we can conclude. Thank you very much. Mr. Carantonis, questions?
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I have one question. In the staff report, I understand that, finding a principal lender here, congratulations, Mr. Lynch, by the way, that seems to be a very good deal. It states that, the fact that the loan is structured this way at this point will save $1 million monthly in interest. So does this, my question is to Ms. Rizzo, how does Arlington County benefit from that? Exactly, I mean, the whole project benefits from that because, this is reduces the cost of financing the project. But is there any part of that reflects positively on the balance sheet of Arlington County?
I would say yes, it has a result in our long-term permanent financing amount since we are essentially the gap lender. So I would say that the county does benefit from this.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. DeFrenti, did you have questions?
Just one. Thanks, Madam Chair. My impression is that part of the purpose for acting quickly here is, and I think this is either for Ms. Kaur or Ms. Rizzo, is so that we can further clarify with respect to one of the additional party that there's a covenant that's recorded in time for the 99-year affordability to be set and strengthened slightly. Is that some of the reason for this special meeting in advance of what I perceive to be closing over the coming days? I think Ms. Kaur, but it could be.
The reason for the special meeting is just the timing of the finances. So the clarification that the covenant will survive all foreclosures, even from the senior lender, would always be in a subordination agreement, whether it came to the board today at this special meeting or in January when we were anticipating it before. So as far as the timing, it's truly just because days after the board initially approved this deal, we found out that senior financing was secured.
Thank you, Ms. Kaur. Mr. DeFrenti, does that answer your question, or did you have follow-up?
No, that answers. I actually appreciate, even though I know it's unusual to have a meeting this late in the year. Under the circumstances, I appreciate having this done in this order. I really appreciate staff for having brought this forward and colleagues for being available for this meeting one way or the other. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thanks. All right, I'll look for any closing comments before we take a vote on Mr. Dorsey's motion. Ms. Garvey, would you like to begin?
Yeah, just a little bit. Thank you so much, and thank you all for coming here and pulling this together as quickly as we did. Thank you for our Vice Chair filling in here, and thank you for our colleagues from far, far away coming here. Nice to see you again, Mr. Lynch. And I think just to repeat two things that have already been said, just to make sure people are really clear. One, this is the way we usually actually do things, maybe not as quickly, but because of the end of the year we've needed to, but there's nothing really extraordinary about it. And two, no matter what happens with these loans, once this all goes through, this property is secured as affordable for 99 years. And that is a tremendous, tremendous accomplishment, and I'm very pleased we were able to do that.
Thank you, Ms. Garvey. Mr. Dorsey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So if this had been known when we acted on the 14th, this would have been wrapped up into the agreement that we considered then, but we had new information with someone else new coming to the Capitol stack, so we have to just procedurally go ahead and do this. This is really rather administrative and doesn't change anything from our perspective, other than anything, as Mr. DeFerranti's question outlined, anything that reduces the project's cost. Better gives us comfort that we will have repayment of our interest-only loan, of which $1 million in savings is almost as much as we are expecting to reap on an annual basis in the first 5 years of this loan. So this is really a nice end-of-year gift for us all, and it's glad to have at least this portion of it wrapped up, and that we've made the appropriate delegation so that we don't necessarily have to convene in this manner should there be other immaterial changes that occur.
Thanks so much, Mr. Dorsey. Mr. Karantonis.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I echo the comments. Just for the public, I remember very distinctly that the last time that we subordinated a loan was just last fall. Was it in October or November for the Serrano? So this is the way we are structuring these loans, and we are supporting this kind of development and the creation and maintenance and preservation of affordable housing in Arlington. So I'm more than happy to support the motion and go ahead, and I very much hope that we see this deal closed and operative as soon as humanly possible. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mr. Karantonis. And Mr. DeFerranti, I know you made some comments in closing. Did you have anything further you wanted to add before a vote?
Just briefly, I'll echo the enthusiasm that colleagues have, and I'll share just the thought that the opportunity cost of not acting, as we have over the last 2 weeks, for me is significant to note. Preserving affordability for these more than 1,300 units is a huge step forward, and if we were not able to, the cost to Arlington in terms of being affordable and a place where those from different walks of life can live and thrive would be significant. So thank you. That's it.
Thanks so much. And in conclusion, with very little to improve upon the good comments my colleagues have made, I'll just echo them again and share and emphasize what Mr. Dorsey said. This is a good news story on top of a good news story. Yeah. We appreciate Mr. Lynch moving with alacrity to secure this additional source of financing that we did not expect to see until early in the new year. The cost savings that many have described will accrue to the project, accrue to the benefit of the project as well as Arlington County. And I'm so pleased that we were able to assemble, and so pleased that our county attorney's office and housing team were able to work so quickly to facilitate this so that we can act before the end of the year. Mr. Lynch, I'm wishing you the best of luck in closing. We are really excited to enter 2022 as partners. All right, with no further discussion, Mr. Dorsey's motion has been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes unanimously. Thank you all so much. Madam Clerk, is there any other material to come before the board?
No, there is not.
All right, in that event, thank you all again for assembling. Happiest of holidays, and see you in 2022.
Yeah.
Adjourned.
Thank you.
Well done.
Bye-bye.